So today I am honoring and addressing all of you out there who are hosting and or organizing plant medicine ceremonies. It's a really big job. It's the first major job that I had in this space and I still do it, is to be the gatekeeper. Essentially, it's usually we're the first point of contact that the pasajeros or the participants get to connect with in terms of just feeling safe and seen and aligned with the way that we are, because the host or the organizer is typically just the portal of energy by which the whole experience begins. So there are some ethics and some really important things to consider around not only, if you're walking this path as a host and an organizer, and or you're wanting more discernment around knowing when you're in good hands. And by the way, excuse my cat, he's playing with my leaf rattle, or his leaf rattle, as it may be. Anyway, so the ethics of this. First of all, there should be a really intense, very intentional intake process. Typically, it starts with a questionnaire, so people that want to be in the ceremonies can put into writing their health history, any past issues with mental injuries, diagnoses, their intentions, history with the medicines. There's a lot of things that we want to know just in order to get a foundation for what people are coming with, because of course these medicines are not for everybody. So beyond the questionnaire, you should have access to the host or organizer. You should be able to ask any and all questions, and they should be welcoming to your questions. Questions like, what's in the medicine? Where does the medicine come from? The history of the facilitator or facilitators, what their training is, what their relationship with the medicine is, how many master plant diets they've done, if that's appropriate, things like that. They should be free and accessible to answer any and all questions from the participants, because that is the primary way that we begin to create safety. Safety in terms of being accessible and transparent, safety in terms of making sure they are physically, mentally, and spiritually ready for the kind of deep work that these medicines create. And it's just important that the organizer is available. It feels like they are a friend and that they're treating each person as an individual. If that is not present out of the gate, it's not likely to be present when you're actually there at the ceremony space either. So the organizer is obviously vetting and ensuring that the people they say yes to are congruent with the medicine that is being offered. I also emphasize that organizers, we got to consider the group as a whole. For example, my company, we often kind of specialize in women that have been through trauma, sensitive, empathic people, and men that are processing trauma too. So I'm careful to make sure that the energies I say yes to mix well, with the sensitivities that we typically call in. And it's what we love to work with. Not to say that people who aren't on the empathic spectrum are any less worthy. It's just people who are super sensitive are super sensitive. So we try to be aware of the group as a whole as well as the individuals. And it's also important for organizers to vet individuals that are in couples or that are families or best friends, etc., to connect with them separately. Because that gives each individual an opportunity to say things they might not already say in front of their partner or their sister, etc., and to make sure that they are separated in the ceremony space, because it's just easy to get caught up in somebody that you know well, their experience, and to have that negatively impact yours. So we gotta have a lot of boundaries. We gotta create the safe container for all involved, and especially for people who know each other well. Organizers also typically have the onus in the aftermath to follow up with people to make sure that they are integrating well. And ideally, a medicine group has integration specialists that are available and that are just aware of the state that everybody's in at the end of the ceremony, the retreat, the cycle. But that often falls upon the organizer to at least be the one that is staying in touch and making sure that people are, coming back into the world in a graceful way, because it often happens that it's not that way. And so it's important to have people on the team that are there to just guide people through a more graceful re-entering. And my cat agrees. Organizing also, so this is maybe the not so obvious thing about this job. because we are the portal and the vessel by which these energies begin to come into the space. It's really important for the organizer, just as much as it is for the facilitator, to be doing their own work, you know, to be in integrity, to love medicine and love people. Because if you're doing it for any other reason, it's going to show, and it creates a vibration that isn't necessarily safe or welcoming to people. My kitty is very vocal today. Thank you, Prana. So yeah, it's just, it's important. I mean, you know, it's not really a job to organize these experiences. It's a lifestyle. It's something that we have to be committed to at all times in some ways. Not that we have to live as nuns or monks, but to own that the energy that we carry, it matters greatly because it impacts people in their most vulnerable spaces. So it is no small task. And so because of that, I typically recommend that organizers, they don't start organizing until they have a lot of experience with the medicine, because people sometimes jump in and they want to organize and do this work with little to no experience. And that is problematic simply because people are going to need to know some specific things about the nature of these medicines, and they're going to need to feel that they're in experienced hands right out of the gate. So those are just a handful of the things that I think are really essential for all of us organizing and for all of us vetting organizers that feel like they are trustworthy. So thank you for listening to me and my cat. Please follow us, subscribe to this channel, leave us comments anytime. We appreciate you being here and wishing you much love and a beautiful day.